Round 2. This is going to determine who's coming back to the semifinals tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, guys, right here at GCD TV. But both teams are ready. I'm ready to hit that Q button. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Well, I pressed it anyway, so I did it. Did it. So the very first map of this best of 3, of course, is going to be in the Grand Arena, as that is a new rule change. Every first map of every first map is going to be in the Grand Arena, and then after that, it is always loser's pick. So I'll see you guys in there. Let's get into it. Also, just so you guys are aware, I just sent out a tweet about who's going to the semifinals, so make sure to go and check that out. I appreciate all the support and retweets.
We got subbins.
Do we? Oh, goody gumdrops.
Oh my god, no.
Well, that's them. That's funny thing.
You really? You say that?
This is the first time, I think, in GCD that we've seen Jahmilli on his Mage.
This is the first time we've seen Jahmilli on his Mage going. He's running that god comp, man. I'm just gonna repeat everything you say. Say something else.
Wizkx has the little fire one. Oh my god, it's the name. The name of it.
Jahmilli. Oh wait.
Oh
FK.
yeah, wait, yeah. Rephrase that. It's not.
You made me click on that, Super. I'm excited.
I didn't know until after, I promise. Omnivore with the Swifty transmog, though. He's going to be doing massive damage. Jahmilli throwing out some blizzards, trying to slow down these melee, going for some polymorphs, trying to fake the interrupts early on so he can blink in and get that guaranteed deep sheep. He's going to even get paralyzed, kind of a waste by Adëllah there. He's going to portal back though to try and avoid the CC. Rynd in the asphyxiate, they're pressuring Jahmilli. The bubble comes out on the deep. The reflect was used as well, and Jahmilli didn't throw the polymorph into that. Bladestorm coming towards the end of the Iron Bark, stormbolting Jahmilli, just going to blink in. He gets gripped back. Valido in the meantime gets the Devouring Plague. They're swapping over to him. He activates the Blood Presence, immediately realizing the swap. Jahmilli just building up his icicles with the frost bolts, but he's tanking a lot of damage. Rynd already having used 25% of his mana, going for a cyclone, but it was stolen, instantly thrown back onto Rynd. Jahmilli getting pressured. He blazing speeds back. He gets charged. He's gonna blink. Amplify Magic is up. There's the asphyxiate out. He has no blink for the Stormbolt. He trinkets, gets life gripped, and gets gripped back immediately. Incapacitate onto Rynd. Unfortunately, it's gonna break. That might have forced the block, but he's still getting pressured at 30%. Rynd is trying to get the Genesis heals going for a cyclone now, but it's DR'd. Disarm onto Omnivore, but no CC just yet. There's the Deep Freeze Polymorph onto Adëllah. That's going to land full. He's choosing to sit through it. Omnivore activates the regen and the Die by the Sword to try and mitigate this burst with the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, and no team's really forced too much from either side. Jahmilli taking a little bit of damage here. Rynd actually gets his clone stolen again into another clone. Jahmilli does have the Iron Bark. I'm not sure that they can actually kill him, but Omnivore taking so much damage. Adëllah having to use his Life Cocoon on him. He still has a trinket available, but Rynd still in the CC chain. Beautiful cross CC coming out by Jahmilli, though, putting the sheep onto Vell. The Deep Freeze coming out onto Adëllah, and Omnivore could just die. The Rallying Cry does come out, does the disarm down to 10% HP. Adëllah getting some heals out, though. The War Master does come out, and he is going to get topped off, I think, here. So well done by him.
Yeah, Jahmilli's getting pressured. The Fear lands into Rynd, but it was DR'd to almost immunity. They're crushing him, though. They lock the poly, 50% HP. Devouring Plague onto Omnivore, though. Asphyxiate onto Rynd. They're trying to pressure Jahmilli through this, but Adëllah gets polyed full. He trinkets immediately, goes for the heals, but he got locked out maybe there, or fake the CS, but into the half Fear now. Halo coming out, silence onto Adëllah. Omnivore in a lot of trouble. Master Flex before the bash. No trinket for 1 second. He gets the regen. He gets cloned on it. He trinkets it immediately to pressure Jahmilli, but the Iron Bark comes out from Rynd. He's going for more clones onto Valido here, but I believe he might have stolen a poly or a clone here. We'll have to find out. Incapacitate onto Rynd. The half poly out of that. They need a stun out of that to pressure Jahmilli here. They still don't have an ice block. Polymorph onto Adëllah. Omnivore heroic leaps to safety. Wizkx taking a massive amount of damage there out of nowhere. But the Fear onto Adëllah. Disarm onto Omnivore. Jahmilli still being pressured. Goes for the Frost Jaw. Wizkx at 30% HP. Almost into execute range. Rynd going for a clone. And Wizkx at 18% HP. Omnivore almost capitalizing on that recklessness coming out. Bladestorm as well. Onto Jahmilli, 30% HP. Might be a block here. Incapacitate onto Rynd. And Valido stole the ice block there. He can use it for CC or damage later on. But this TSG is managing to pull through. Almost into execute range, 30%. He's going to trinket, 27%. Rynd can't recover into the leg sweep now. Charge onto Jahmilli. Polymorph's coming out desperately. The double Nova saving his life for now. The Deep Freeze onto Adëllah. He gets locked on the Polymorph, though, going for the Frost Jaw. That's going to land. Disarm onto Omnivore. They're trying to turn it around. 40%. The Iron Bark comes out. He's going to be able to sustain Jahmilli. He's still getting pressured. Comet Storm coming down, bash onto Omnivore, but he has his defensive cooldowns. He's going to use them out of this. Jahmilli goes for the CS, but he misses it onto Adëllah, I believe. He's going to come back and be able to heal, but into the DR silence. Omnivore still has the die by the sword, going to use the life cocoon instead. Jahmilli getting pressured at 40%, but nothing too substantial just yet.
What?
Yeah, Rynd still has his trinket available. That was an immense amount of pressure, but this godcomp sort of recovered. Rynd immediately trinkets that Asphyxiate on himself. And it looks like they're still just on Jahmilli. They're trying to shut down his CC, so he can't get anything going on Adëllah. The life sweep coming out by Adëllah onto Rynd. Polymorph gets stolen by Vell onto Rynd. Well done by him. Jahmilli still just taking so much damage, though. Rynd trying to get those cyclones out as much as he can, trying to fake the Dark Sim by Adëllah. But Wizkx is going to be the target of choice for this TSG. Meanwhile, Omnivore taking a lot of damage, having to put out that parry. Adëllah caught into a full sheep. He does have Trinket available for him, though, and I think he does have his bubble up, too. Jahmilli taking so much damage, forced into his second block. He's not going to have another one available for another 2 minutes. The damage being switched off over onto Wizkx, and it's going to be hard for Rynd to recover out of this. And this TSG is just doing a great job rotating their cooldowns, and they have so much pressure against this godcomp.
And they force the Ironbark onto Wizkx, and they're just going to swap immediately to Jahmilli with no blocks. They grip the Blazing Speed. The Blade Storm comes out. He blinks out of it. He's going to get topped by Rynd's NS. Now going for a Cyclone. Luckily, Adëllah is not going to be able to steal that one. The disarm onto Omnivore. He trinkets immediately. Stormbolts Jahmilli, so he can't get the Polymorph off of the Deep Freeze. And now Jahmilli getting pressure, and it's going to be it! 1%! Jahmilli gets taken down, and the boys are not back in this first game against Monk Sucks 2.0.
Wow, I did not expect that outcome going against a TSG versus a godcomp. Not even a little bit. What do you guys think about that? What happened?
How did they do it?
I think it's just hard to get CC on the Monk if they do a good job with like spell reflex, and he does a good job like porting and incapping, and they grip Jahmilli away. It's just hard for him because if he uses his blink and his blazing speeds offensively, he doesn't really have anything defensive, and he kind of has to just like tank damage. So he has to play a little bit more conservative than he normally would, or he's just going to get destroyed by this TSG, and it's just going to be hard for them to get anything rolling, especially with that 1 minute cooldown on Life Cocoon.
Alright, so the next map chosen by this godcomp is going to be on Tolvaron Arena. I'm going to jump right into it. The invite goes out. This is round 2, guys. This is a best of 3. Whoever wins this series is going to the semifinals tomorrow. Currently, Monk Sucks 2.0 is up 1 against the Boys Are Back. Let me go ahead and queue again.
And you think we'll see a comp switch out of Jahmilli? Do you think they might play RMD?
No. I don't think so.
No. Number one, that queue was too fast.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
That's my first assessment. Maybe,
that's my analysis.
Maybe they have fast computers. I think that Rynd is going to maybe slow down a little bit, not go for as many Cyclones. Because he went for a Cyclone with Wizkx, like 20% HP. Tried to go for a Cyclone again, got stolen on it. Tried to go for a Cyclone again, like just got shut down so much. So I don't think he's going to be too eager to try and do that. Maybe bait some of the CC with Roots instead.
They need to be very careful for Galito's Dark Sim. You know, can't be getting his clone stolen, or Jahmilli can't getting his Polymorph stolen, because it makes a big difference in the amount of team that CC has. That's like a big part of their CC. Outside of like Incap, Leg Sweep, and Asphyxiate and Fear. I mean, if they can steal Clone or steal Polymorph, they can force huge cooldowns against this godcomp, so they need to be careful for that.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen, man. This TSG just has so much pressure, and oh man, one more win and Monk 2.0 will advance, but can the Boys Are Back make a comeback and go 2-0? We'll find out right here.
Jahmilli not even going for the Invis. Would have maybe liked to see that to get an early Polymorph. He does fake the Dark Sim, though, early on, so good on him to get that out of the way for Rynd here. But the Ironbark comes out nonetheless. He's been standing still too long. This is a Deep Freeze Polymorph. It's going to land. Master Reflect comes in way too late. Has to activate the Die by the Sword and the Regen to answer all this pressure. Rynd gets stunned on his NS. He's trying to purge it off. He's not able to get it off, though. The NS is going to come up here shortly. Imagine actually, okay, he does get the NS off just in time onto Jahmilli, but it doesn't seem to do too much. And in the meantime, Omnivore at 15% gets Life Cocooned, Rallying Cry as well, but that's going to fade And a silence onto Adëllah. Rallying cry falls 2%. Life Cocoon in 1 second. Is it going to be over? Fear comes out defensively 20%. He's in Shadow or Death range. One death connects. Second death does as well. He survived the death, but the Devouring Plague is going to push him through, I think. 33% HP. Omnivore, the Live Lord, is here, and he has survived, but that was all the cooldowns. Jahmilli in the meantime at 50% HP, but with both blocks and Rynd still having his trinket, I don't think they're in too much trouble. Full polymorph onto Adëllah. They're trying to pressure Omnivore even further. Stormbolt, though, paralyzed under Rynd. 50% HP. He's going to blink away here. He goes for the counterspell. I believe it might have landed there onto Adëllah. Doesn't seem like he's going for any more heals. Polymorphs now coming out from Jahmilli, the AMS from Vell to answer that, but somehow, someway, Omnivore is alive.
Yeah, this TSG is going to have to play a little bit conservative, make sure Adëllah's not going to be putting too much CC, otherwise, I mean, they don't really have anything left, so they have to play a little safe. Luckily, their cooldowns are very, very short. Adëllah being put into that deep freeze, polymorph coming out by Jahmilli, full poly onto Adëllah. The bubble does come out from Adëllah onto Omnivore during the deep freeze, so well played by him. Jahmilli's going to be the one under pressure, that monk bubble causing the TSG to actually have more pressure than this godcomp during that CC chain, but they're going to switch it over to Vell, who's down to around 30%. The Devouring Plague comes out. Silence onto him, taking so much damage. He's going to get topped immediately by Adëllah, but the bash comes out by Rynd onto Adëllah. Looks like they might be switching onto Omnivore. Rynd into that incapacitate. Wizkx down to around 30%. The asphyxiate comes out by Rynd. This is going to be dispersed by Wizkx, and this TSG has somehow managed to turn around the pressure onto Wizkx.
Yeah. Rynd went for CC, and he went for CC and got punished. He got incapped on his Cyclone, now going for another Cyclone. He's going to land it onto Vell, who desecrated grounds immediately now into a D-Yard polymorph. The roots coming out into a D-Yard clone now as well. Wizkx being pressured. That's their opening right now with no dispersion, I feel. Jahmilli with the counterspell, I believe, locking out Adëllah, and that counterspell might win him the game. Regens up, as well as the Die by the Sword, as well as the Life Cocoon, and that was a big overlap from this TSG that was almost mandatory at least, but that's going to be an opening for the godcomp to push through. Vell now into another polymorph. Jahmilli getting locked out on that polymorph cast. Rynd going for some regrowth to try and keep his team taut. Wizkx playing very far back. He doesn't want to get swapped to until that dispersion comes off cooldown, but a fear onto Rynd. They're swapping to Wizkx. Rynd trinkets immediately, gets the NS. Healing touch, a defensive fear onto Vell. Unfortunately, is sitting Omnivore with the Recklessness Blade Storm, but the offensive push from Adëllah lands the Paralyze onto Rynd. They need more CC though. Stormbolt onto Wizkx, 40% HP. There's the full 60 onto Rynd. No trinket available. 30% HP. The disarm coming out onto Omnivore to try and turn it around. Iron Bar coming up in the nick of time onto Wizkx, but he's still being pressured. There, he's finally getting topped off by the Genesis heals, and Omnivore now at 18%, trying to reconvene with Adëllah. The Master Flag not coming out. Stormbolt onto Jahmilli. He's just going to trinket that to try and finish the job. 12%, 6%. You're not going to live it this time, Wizkx says with a double death. Areno taking him down.
Wow.
And we got a series, boys.
It is now 1-1. Boys are back. Monk sucks. The next map is going to determine who advances to round 2. What were we going to say, Vell?
I think Adëllah kind of underestimated how much damage Omnivore was going to take, and I think he ended up trinketing like a DR poly or the end of a polymorph into a full clone. And if he had just trinketed that polymorph right away, I think he could have kept Omnivore safe and could have kept them aggressive because they had so much pressure. And I think he was perhaps a little bit too conservative with cooldowns there. That ended up causing him to lose.
The boys are back.
The boys are back. Man, oh man, that was intense. I'm going to go ahead and ask Monk Sucks 2.0 to see what the next map is going to be. I like that he's running a Mistweaver Monk. You know, that's kind of like an underused spec now, I feel. Let's see. Dalaran Sewers is the choice by this team. Oh my goodness gracious. That game had so many close calls so often. The war game request has been declined. Trying to figure out what's going on.
Like we were saying, I don't think Vidello stole a single ability that mattered that game. Yeah. As opposed to the first game, it is every time.
Yeah, exactly. Makes a huge difference. I mean, the TSG, they have a decent amount of CC, but what really puts it over the top is if that DK is stealing polymorphs and cyclones. Makes a huge difference.
Yeah. As you saw in the, what was it, the very first game? Did he steal a lot the first game?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
it was like every clone almost that was up he stole.
I think he stole like 3 clones and 2 polymorphs.
Holy crap. That's incredible. That's interesting. It's like almost having a whole nother player worth of CC on your team.
Yeah.
So it looks like boys are back. Need a couple minutes here. Maybe a comp change or something? I don't know what's going on.
Games.
Mind games.
Mind
I
games.
like that. All right. So we'll see. The next map is going to be on Adëllah Sewers, and it's going to determine which one of these teams are going to be advancing to the semifinals. Let's take a quick look at the bracket once again as we wait. Here is the bracket right here. So as you can see, this is the round that we're doing right here. Round 2, Monksuck versus Boys are back, and as soon as we decide who wins this matchup, that is the semifinals. Then after that we have I'm Sorry Zaryu versus Every Kill Begins with K. Hey, it's Tony from the Bronx versus Scouts Honor. RLD Dream Team versus 50 Shades of McCade. So I'm already just looking at the teams that are currently competing right now. I'm excited.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, despite round 1 having a lot of like disconnects and no shows, I think this round 2 is going to be really great. And I mean, we did have good games in round 1 as well, but a lot of really interesting matchups coming up. Especially, I mean, these are good games.
Yeah, they are. They are
Very
a lot of good
forth.
players. A lot of good players in this tournament.
Jahmilli here delaying them though, man.
All right.
Jahmilli.
So as you said that, he did ask me to queue. So I'm going to go ahead and press the queue button. And here we go. We're in.
Mind games, are they real though?
Are they real?
Or is he throwing a curveball? I mean, these teams can't see what they're fighting in the waiting room, so doesn't seem nope, no curveball just yet. Oh man, oh man, oh boy, oh buddy. Are the boys back, or will Monksucks 2.0 take it back? This game decides it, ladies and gentlemen.
Whichever way it goes, this series has been a great one, and I'm really glad we got to watch it. For reals.
Can Omnivore the Live Lord survive round 3?
Yeah, I can't believe he's so low, man. That Cyclone on the Rallying Cry and the Cocoon, I'm like, that's unbelievable. Oh my gosh. That was a really nice Cyclone coming out from Rynd. But, Adëllah Sewers, this is a much smaller map. Oh man, this is Monksuck 2.0's map choice. What's gonna happen?
Maybe they're going to pressure Rynd on this map. I'm not sure. He is pre-hotting Jahmilli very to a large degree here, even with the Soul of the Forest rejuice as well. Just keeping Jahmilli fully hotted. And they're going to swap to Wizkx. Not a lot of hots on him right now. Getting the dots up, though. There's the deep freeze onto Adëllah. He's going to life cocoon before the CC lands, but the polymorph doesn't even go out. The life cocoon's going to buy his time here. He's popping the Recklessness now, trying to turn it around onto Jahmilli, and Rynd's going to Iron Bark that immediately, spamming out the Regrowth. But he's dying through it. He gets locked on the polymorph, 50% HP. He's going to have to reconsider pushing in right now. 40%, 30%. Rynd goes for the Tranquility, but that's not going to do a lot through the single target pressure. He's going to cancel it immediately, and he gets stunned down below. It might be his Trinket. If he Trinkets before Fear, that's going to be detrimental, and there's the first block much earlier this game, and Jahmilli's just going to cancel it. Cold Snap, go offensive onto Omnivore at 50%. The Fear lands onto Adëllah. He's going to Nimble Brew immediately to top off Omnivore, who heroic leaps in. The Paralyze into Rynd. Unfortunately, he's dotted. He's got the Heart of the Wild into the DR leg sweep, but Jahmilli should be okay with these Heart of the Wild hots. He's going to get Storm Bolted on that Polymorph, blinks out of it immediately, but he's going to get gripped away. Adëllah is just positioned really well right now to avoid the Polymorphs and avoid the CC. If he can keep this up, it's definitely in his favor to do so, but there's the bash on Omnivore. Defreeze onto Adëllah. He's going to Life Cocoon once again before the Polymorph comes out, so good on him to get that out, but they overlapped it with the regen, unfortunately. He still has Die by the Sword and Rally. The full Fear onto Adëllah. He doesn't want to have to Trinket this. Jahmilli getting pressured really hard. He's trying to kite both of these melee DPS down below and away from Adëllah's Fear Path. He's trying to cover the ground to get back to Omnivore and Velido right now, but Omnivore getting crushed, 40% HP, silence, Die by the Sword comes out, Adëllah revivals, but he's going to dispel a VT, fears him up for 3 seconds, 30% on Omnivore, 29%, deep freeze onto Adëllah, the Polymorph lands, it could be the end here, he fake casts the Mind Freeze, but he gets reflected on the Poly, and he clones Omnivore low HP, but he stole the Poly, Rynd into a full Poly, Jahmilli getting pressured, 50% HP, he's going to get gripped back, the Polymorph unfortunately breaking to the dots of the Death Knight, the Asphyxiate comes out, but Jahmilli has managed to survive for now.
Yeah, and Jahmilli's still under a ton of pressure, down to around 40% right now. Rynd desperately trying to hot him. All his hots getting dispelled, though, by Velido. Omnivore put into that bash. The clone comes out onto Velido. Rynd doing a good job CCing, trying to keep his team alive for now with the CC instead of healing. Meanwhile, Wizkx taking a significant amount of damage. Adëllah just sitting back, making sure that Jahmilli and Wizkx cannot get any CC on them whatsoever. And this team's going to be playing very conservatively right now, but I think that's what they need to do to win. They just need to sit back and make sure Adëllah is not taking a lot of CC, and I think eventually, with the amount of damage this team does, they'll be able to score a kill with the little CC that they do have.
Yeah, and Life Cocoon coming out from Adëllah and Omnivore to answer the Devouring Plague. Now Recklessness coming up, but a Life Grip from Wizkx. They get triple leg sweeped on it. Omnivore heroic leaps up the edge, back onto Jahmilli. Full fear onto Rynd, choosing not to trinket it this time around. He got the NS before, trying to steal the Polymorph from Jahmilli, but he's not going to steal it. DR Stormball onto Jahmilli now. Might be a second block, 30% HP. He's going for the Polymorphs, bash onto Omnivore. He gets locked on the Poly, 39%. Soul Reaper's up. Rynd in no CC, though, goes for the big Genesis heals, but he can't heal him. Almost in execute range. Gonna block it 17% and overlap it with Rynd's Trinket. If there was a chance for the TSG, this would be it. Jahmilli with the Icy Veins trying to push in, but Adëllah's been doing a magnificent job avoiding the CC back on the box. There's the disarm onto Omnivore. Wizkx into the Paralyze, though, negating a bit of his damage, but the Devouring Plague's gonna connect. Deep Freeze onto Adëllah. He gets the Master Flex. He's gonna Ice Lance that off, but he doesn't get the Polymorph in time. He's gonna be able to come out with the Aura Mastery heals, but the Fear lands onto Adëllah. No Nimble. He doesn't want to have to Trinket a Fear. He wants to save it for the Polymorph, but Jahmilli gets locked out on that Polymorph, still getting pressured. His Cold Snap coming out, going to use that with the Amplify Magic to top himself off as Rynd is in the Asphyxiate, but Omnivore getting pressured. Devouring Plague, 20%, almost in depth range. He pops the heals, keeping himself almost out of range. The rally overlapped with the bubble, though, from Adëllah here. Might come back to haunt them. Rynd with no Trinket, though. If Vell here can get a good steal, he might be able to turn it around, and he does steal the clone, throws it back onto Rynd. I believe actually it was Master Reflected, but Omnivore dying in the meantime. 25%, full fear onto Adëllah. No way out. Comet Stern coming down. Omnivore, you live, Lord. You magnificent live, Lord. 1%! That's it. That's all she wrote, though. He can only live for so long at 1%.
Yeah, and Rynd doing an excellent job once again of getting out those offensive clones on the Omnivore, stopping any sort of healing, especially when that Monk Bubble's up. The Monk Bubble grants additional hot healing for the Monk on the Warrior, so if he's able to clone that, it makes it really hard for him to actually top him off, which is a big deal. So well played by Rynd.
Yeah, he keeps doing it consistently, and on Rallying Cry, on that Monk Orb, that was a big factor in them landing that kill. But GG's all around. Thank you so much, Monk Sucks 2.0, for coming and competing, but the boys are back. We'll be advancing to the semifinals. Catch them tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern right here at GCD TV. But who is up next? That is the question. Oh, man, that was a great series. I really enjoyed that.